Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Gabriela Fundora makes her first successful defence of her IBF flyweight title. Undefeated now, Gabriela, 13 wins, no draws, no defeats, 6 KOs, and she stopped Christina Cruz, who was also undefeated. Christina had 6 wins going in with no KOs, purely a boxer, no draws, no defeats. But get a load of this, right? Gabriela Fundora was 21 years old. She was the champ. That was her first defence. Christina Cruz is 41. So she's 20 years older than the champion. And it's hard to believe it, you know. I mean, you've got a woman who was, when the champion was being born, Christina Cruz was already a grown woman, 20 years of age, and boxing for God knows how many years. And for the first half of this fight, it looked like Christina was going to win, because Gabriela Fundora, she's the sister of Sebastian Fundora, the towering inferno, the 6'5" super welterweight. And Gabriela, I don't know what it is that's in this family's makeup, but she's a 5'9" flyweight, real lanky, but she's a slugger. And if you saw her previous fight against Aureli Mucino, it was a fantastic fight. When she won the title, she knocked Mucino out in 5 rounds. Mucino was an established champion, very, very good fighter. And Christina Cruz has spent years trying to become an Olympian. She's won all sorts of titles, 10 national titles or something. I can't remember reading. I can't remember exactly what titles they were, but she was, a long-established amateur female fighter, very, very highly thought of. But she couldn't get to the Olympics. And so in 2021, she turned pro when she was 38, and she won 6 in a row. Unfortunately for her, it wasn't meant to be with the IBF flyweight title. Gabriela stopped her in the final round. But for 5 rounds, Christina was outboxing Gabriela. She was moving an awful lot, side to side, skirting across the ring. Whenever Gabriela tried to find the range, she couldn't, because suddenly she'd tried to set herself and Christina had gone. On the occasion she got close, Christina was giving her the check left hook, keeping her off, pot shotting very well. And after 5 rounds, I had it 4-1 up for Christina Cruz. I thought this is going to be an upset. But then in the 6th round, the tide turned. Gabriela started to find some range, and she started to let that backhand go. Christina's an orthodox fighter. Gabriela is a southpaw, so her backhand is the right hand, and she was letting it go. But no, what am I talking about? She's a southpaw, so she was jabbing with her backhand is her left hand. So she was starting to bring it over, and it started to find a home. And also, Gabriela started to go to the body, and she landed a couple of individual body punches, which seemed to really slow Christina Cruz up. And suddenly, Christina found herself having to fight. Now, I know these are 2-minute rounds. I hate 2-minute rounds. I despise them with a passion. I think they're very difficult to score because they're so brief. And if you break the round into 2 individual minutes, the girl that wins the first minute, another girl wins the second minute, and then you have to kind of work out who won their minute more, should we say. Let's put it that way. I hate 2-minute rounds. If you're going to have 10 rounds for a world title fight, make it 10 threes. I mean, what are we saying? Are we saying that, women are delicate flowers who have to be protected from themselves? I mean, what could be more chauvinistic? Most female fighters want 3-minute rounds, and I support them in that. But despite the fact that Gabriela didn't have so much time to get her work done, like I say, from the 6th round onwards, she was finding the range much more, and she was beginning to land very hurtful individual punches. And the pressure, I think, got to Christina as much mentally and psychologically as it did physically, because she was slowing down. She was still trying to pot shot, but she wasn't moving nearly as much. And Gabriela was kind of grinding her down. I thought that Christina would probably go the distance and lose on points because of these 2-minute rounds, because Gabriela would hurt Christina, maybe a minute in, and then she wouldn't have enough time to get her work done. And then Christina would go back to the corner looking exhausted. You know, maybe the age had a factor. She's 41, all those miles on the clock. You know, she did look, I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from Gabriela, because she did find a distance and she was landing hurtful punches. But you can't dismiss Christina's age. 41 is quite an advanced age. And anyway, the fight was suddenly, you know, more or less even going into the final round, because Gabriela had pulled all those lost rounds back. She'd pulled the scorecard back to where it was pretty much even, I would say. And in the final round, about a minute in, Gabby landed a punch. I think there was one punch that might have even been behind the head or behind the neck. And Christina covered up and seemed to turn. And she ended up with her back to Gabby, and Gabriela was whacking her to the body. And at that point, Christina actually walked away with her back to Gabriela towards the ropes, and the referee jumped in and stopped the fight. And Christina was, you know, very, very upset about it. She said, "Oh, it was a premature stoppage." Now, the commentary team, it was an American commentary team. Sergio Mora was one of the commentators, and he said, "Yeah, that's a really bad stoppage." And with the benefit of hindsight, I think the referee would probably have turned Christina around and said, "Do not turn your back." But she was covering up so much and looked so discombobulated, and she had her back, she was literally the wrong way around, that you can't really blame the referee for stepping in. He has the right to do that, because for all he knew, you know, Christina might have suffered, I don't know, a busted rib or damaged eye or something. She was actually dabbing at one of her eyes. I think it was her left eye. But she didn't know where she was. I mean, she could have been stunned. She could have been slightly concussed. You just didn't really know. So I think, yeah, it is. I can buy it that people think it's a premature stoppage, a controversial stoppage. But at the same time, I wouldn't put too much heat on the referee. I really wouldn't. I think it's 50-50, you know what I mean? But anyway, all controversy aside, Gabriela Fundora did retain her title with a 10th round TKO. That's her first defence. She's now 13-0, no draws, no defeats, 6 KOs. And big respects to her. I think this kid's good. She's only 21, 5'9" southpaw. She's going to give any female trouble. And Christina Cruz at 41, I mean, she didn't look finished by any shape, by any stretch of the imagination. She boxed really well. It's just that she did seem to run out of gas a bit towards the end. And is that age? Maybe. But let's not take anything away from Fundora. She finally caught up with her opponent and stopped her. So what did you think of this fight? I thought it was absorbing because I liked the way it unfolded. It wasn't action-packed, but it was intriguing because of the difference in the styles. And you're always thinking, is Gabriela going to catch up with Christina or not? Eventually she did. If you've got any comments to make, please leave them below in the comments section. I'll have a read of them and answer as many as I can. What do you think of Gabriela? How far do you think she can go? Do you think she can unify the division? What about Cruz at 41? Can she come again? Maybe. You never know. But leave your comments below. Thank you for your time, as always. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could do that, that would be a big help. And give the little like button a push and all. Go on. It takes a second. Why not? Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.